Monday, May the 2nd. My voice is, for the most part, returned. I guess we'll see how this goes. There's no more AI. We've fired them all. We've deleted the code. We've deleted the backups. They're gone. Probably. That's right. I'm talking about murder, chat. Murder. Let's get on with the news. Big story today here. Probably the biggest story of the week. Although it is Monday, it is early. The Embracer Group. You know, the Koch Media people. Well, they've entered into an agreement with Square Enix to acquire the studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal. I wanted to say Eidos Montreal. That's not right. Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, and a catalog of IPs including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain, and more than 50 back catalog games, which is pretty much the entirety of Square Enix Western titles and business. The acquisition includes 1,100 employees across 3 studios and 8 global locations. Here's the kicker, the shocker, the what the fucker. The total price for all of this, $300 million on a cash and debt-free basis to be paid in full at closing. That seems so low. They might as well call this deal Han. You know what I'm saying? There's a statement from both Embracer and Square Enix. Embracer says, "We are thrilled to welcome these studios into the Embracer Group. We recognize the fantastic IP, world-class creative talent, and track record of excellence that have been demonstrated time and again over the past decades. It's been a great pleasure meeting the leadership team and discussing future plans for how they can realize their ambitions and become a great part of Embracer," says Lars Wingfors, who is the co-founder and group CEO of the Embracer Group. Phil Rogers over at Square Enix America and Europe, he's the CEO, came out and said, "Embracer is the best kept secret in gaming. A massive decentralized collection of entrepreneurs who we are thrilled to become a part of today. It is the perfect fit for our ambitions, making high quality games with great people, sustainably, and grow our existing franchises to their very best versions ever. Embracer allows us to forge new partnerships across all media to maximize our franchise's potential and live our dreams of making extraordinary entertainment." There's also a document that stated the following: the transaction will assist the company in adapting to the changes underway in the global business environment by establishing a more efficient allocation of resources, which will enhance corporate value by accelerating growth in the company's core businesses in the digital entertainment domain. In addition, the transaction, capital T, enables the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in fields including blockchain, AI, and the cloud. Going forward, the company's development function will comprise the studios in Japan, Square Enix External Studios, and Square Enix Collective. The company's overseas studios will continue to publish franchises such as Just Cause, Outriders, and Life is Strange. Oh boy. Square Enix also said that these three studios generated nearly $200 million in revenue in 2021, but less than $8 million combined operating income. According to the analyst, the factors for this agreement are as follows. Square Enix Western Studios have underperformed over numerous titles, even when game sales were 1 to 3 million copies in a span of months with good critical reception. These expectations are always backed by something tangible, and in Square Enix's case, it's the cost associated with running the studio plus developing the game. Its biggest growth areas in the past year have been from Japanese studios, smartphones, and MMOs. Final Fantasy 14 and probably Kingdom Hearts and Nier. What else does Square Enix have in the mobile world? I don't necessarily know. They were looking to offload the Western studios for a while, according to these analysts, and the Embracer Group is paying the full amount upon completion. The story's not done just yet, but man. Oh, I guess they have a bunch of like Final Fantasy mobile stuff. That's true. There's like that Final Fantasy 7 mobile BR and all that stuff. Kind of like a double-edged sword. You know, a lot of these IPs that they're getting rid of, Deus Ex, for example, Legacy of Kain, obviously something very exciting. Maybe we get to see those IP come back. That's kind of exciting. Tomb Raider, obviously. There's a lot of different things there. I wonder what this means for Guardians of the Galaxy, because that was definitely a part of Crystal Dynamics. Or wait. No, that was Eidos Montreal, and Crystal Dynamics was the Avengers. I think is how that goes. I wonder what that means for the Avengers? Question mark. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm saying a lot because I'm having to consider like it could be good. 300 million seems like a steal for all this. It really just comes down to, you know, what they're willing to put into the oven when it comes to different IP and 1,100 employees across 3 different studios. Hey, that could be some interesting games. They're also probably working on stuff already. So like what happens to those projects, right? A lot of stuff, a lot of things to consider. An interesting time, regardless. In a related story, the Embracer Group had a conference call, which was live streamed. In it, they talked about the new acquisition from Square Enix. Lars Wingfour said, I think in a different time, with different circumstances, that could have been a different number. Of course, referencing the 300 million. During the conference, someone asked about Sleeping Dogs in Deus Ex. There was no clear answer, however, in regards to the state of the IP so far. The deal is expected to close between July and September. The company expects big releases from the acquired studios to start rolling out no sooner than 2 years from now, which includes a new Tomb Raider, which was, of course, from Crystal Dynamics, which was announced at the end of that UE5 thing a couple months back. Crystal Dynamics is also partnering with Microsoft on the company's new Perfect Dark game. They announced that. That's an arrangement that Microsoft says will continue. Square Enix Montreal, which will most likely be renamed, obviously, will release a new free-to-play mobile game this year. They also revealed all the lifetime sales during the call. Eidos Montreal announced the lifetime sales for Tomb Raider have reached 88 million units worldwide for that IP. Kind of crazy. The Reboot trilogy, which was, I guess, started in the Xbox or the PS. It's easier to say PS4 generation, PS3 generation, maybe. That sold 38 million units worldwide. Lara Croft Relic Run and Lara Croft Go. Those are the 2 mobile games. Lara Croft Go. I can't speak for Relic Run. Go is very good, though. That reached 53 million paid downloads. Pretty insane. Deus Ex Human Revolution and Deus Ex Mankind Divided reached over 12 million units sold worldwide. Of course, these sales do not include the releases of Deus Ex or Deus Ex Invisible War. Instead, total lifetime sales are split between Deus Ex Human Revolution, Deus Ex Human Revolution's director cuts, and its direct sequel, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. We'll see what comes from that. Hopefully we got some exciting stuff in about a year or two with those IP. God, I would love a Legacy of Kain thing, whatever that is, as long as it's not a mobile game. Just something interesting, you know? Just something interesting. Anyways, back to, Old Faithful. A new National Labor Relations Board complaint was filed against gaming firm Activision Blizzard, the lifeblood of this broadcast, which alleges that employees were threatened for discussing wages and working conditions at the company. The suit was filed by the Communication Workers of America, the CWA organization. It is alleging that it told its workers, quote, they could not discuss issues related to the sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuit filed by the state of California against the company, according to a press release from the union. Also, quote, within the last 6 months, the above named employer, through a manager, has threatened employees that they should not discuss issues concerning wages, hours, and working conditions on Slack, the complaint said. According to the former Blizzard senior test analyst Jessica Gonzalez, who was cited in the CWA's press release, the company has a, quote, pattern of retaliation against workers who speak out. I'm going to go back to the statement. Within the last 6 months, the above-named employee through a manager has threatened employees. I'm curious what the threat was, that they should not discuss issues concerning wages, hours, and working conditions on Slack. I'm curious what the threat was there, because in general, my understanding is that the company, via Slack, can read those logs at any time. So you really shouldn't do that ever to begin with, which maybe is fucked up in the first place. But I would never want to put something where the company is logging it in general. So I really wonder what that threatened, what was being threatened by the manager in that statement, which was cited in the complaint. Probably never know, unless this, for some reason, goes even more public. A former Blizzard Versailles employee has won the case against the Late Studio with a French appeal court, invalidating the redundancies that led to the closure of the branch in 2020. As reported by French publication Game Cult, which was behind the in-depth investigation into the closure of the studio back in December, this means that the former Blizzard Versailles employees are potentially entitled to further compensations equivalent to a minimum of 6 months of salary. This would only apply to employees who choose to pursue further legal actions to contest their redundancy at a labor court. It's worth noting that the decision to invalidate Blizzard Versailles PSE, which is a legal framework that typically aims at limiting the number of redundancies at a company struggling financially, is only a victory in name, as the employees who were laid off won't be able to reintegrate their function, as Blizzard closed the office for good while the legal proceedings were ongoing. The lawyer handling the case, I apologize, Mehdi Bouzaida, told Game Cult, quote, the hypocrisy of this law voted in 2013. You can discipline the administration and behind it the company for not handling these things properly. But instead of drawing the necessary consequences and preventing the reorganization, and in this case, the closure, things can just follow their course in the meantime. We're not done. Former Activision Blizzard employee Cher Scarlett filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board against Epic Games, accusing the Fortnite developer of refusing to hire her because of her labor advocacy and support of unions. In the complaint, Scarlett makes multiple claims, alleging Epic refused to hire her because she supported a labor organization in working with the NLRB that has been protesting work conditions. Epic Games spokesperson Elka Lux confirmed Scarlett did interview with the company as one of the 2 candidates for a position as a senior front-end web developer. She said the company was aware of Scarlett's labor advocacy early on in the job hiring process, and it did not impact the decision. Quote, this candidate's resume and application included a link to their personal website. The website details their organizing activity, and this information did not factor into our decision to proceed with the interviews. We offered the position to someone else who scored higher in their interviews. We received Scarlett's request for outside activities form after we had already made a hiring decision for the position and had extended an offer to someone else. The form did not play any role in our decision. Candidates are asked to fill out outside activity form over the course of the recruitment process, and providing the form to a candidate is not a confirmation that an offer is forthcoming. Request for activity, quote, is a form that asks for the disclosure of, quote, any efforts you take outside of work that may overlap with your potential role at Epic. You can check out more information on that story over at the Washington Post as they are covering it in full. Moving along to more gaming-focused news instead of the industry. Psychonauts 2 is Double Fine's highest-rated and best-selling game to date, the company says. April Fool's was my last day at Double Fine. I've learned so much over the past... wait, what the hell is this? Is this a different story, I guess? I'm confused. Oh, okay. This is how this information came out. The former art director, Lisette Titri Montgomery, revealed that the sequel's success in a series of tweets she posted whilst confirming that she is leaving the studio. The tweet itself was, quote, April Fool's Day was my last day at Double Fine. I've learned so much over the past 4+ years about who I am as leader and what it means to be a creative visionary. Thank you for trusting me to bring the world of Psychonauts 2 to life. My leadership resulted in shipping Double Fine's highest rated and best-selling game to date. End quote. She added in a thread before reeling off the sequel's numerous awards and nominations. Excuse me. Well, she didn't provide actual numbers to evidence the claim. It is estimated the Psychonauts 2 would have sold over 1.7 million copies, as that's what its predecessor is thought to have achieved. It's also unclear if that figure includes those who enjoyed Psychonauts 2 through Xbox Game Pass. Kind of interesting that this comes from a tweet as she's leaving the studio. I wonder if she had to clear that with PR first, or if they all woke up and were just like, fuck. Who could say? Who could say? We've got new PlayStation Now games for May. They are Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, Soul Calibur 6, and Blasphemous. Top sellers for Steam, ending in the week of May the 1st. The Steam Deck, the Steam Sex, sitting at number 1. Elden Ring still at 2. Dune Spice Wars entering into the equation at number 3. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe at number 4. And coming in at number 5, Sekiro, the Shadows Die Twice Game of the Year edition. The Elden Ring effect. A little bit more random news here. Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto has posted a short statement on Twitter saying that the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Animated movie will no longer be released this year. What's not in the text from the editor here is that I think this tweet is absolutely fucking hilarious. It's from twitter.com/Nintendo America. It's the official account. And it starts out by saying, quote, "This is Miyamoto. After consulting with Chris-san, my partner at Illumination on the Super Mario Bros. Film, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th in Japan, and April 7th in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait." I want all corporate accounts to begin with, "This is," and then the last name of the CEO or whoever's tweeting it. The fact that it started out and says, "This is Miyamoto," is one of my favorite things. I absolutely love it. That and Chris-san. Don't Google Chris-chan, by the way, it's bad. Don't do that. The Summer Games Done Quick 2022 event, also known as SGDQ 2022, has announced its game list for the event and that the event will be a hybrid of online and an in-person event. I believe, so does my editor, the last time that GDQ happened in person was back in 2019. It's been a while since GDQ has been in person. We'll see what happens when the event turns into that later this year. Last little bit of news here. According to the rumor mill, Imran Khan, the news editor at Fanbyte Media, who is also a former senior editor at Game Informer, is very well known in the industry and well versed, and definitely would have connections, is saying that Warner Brothers Discovery is wanting to sell its game development studios and license IPs. The full tweet says, couldn't get enough confirmation to actually write a post about it, but hearing a decent bit of chatter this week about WB Discovery shopping their game development studios around. Interested parties include EA, Take-Two, Microsoft, Sony, Tencent, NetEase, and PUBG Corp. WBD wants to sell studios and license IP, supposedly. It's a lot of interested parties. Of course, back in May 2021, the Warner Brothers board announced that Warner Brothers Games Company will be split into two parts, one to be incorporated into AT&T and another to be sold in the coming months. The board did not comment which studios would be part of either side. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what's going on. Maybe this will be the second story sometime later this week after that Embracer Studio pickup. Let's head over to jpedia.net. We'll check out the releases for this week and then call it a show. It's the first week of May. We got Halo Infinite Season 2 starting tomorrow. Probably one of the bigger releases of the week. Dungeon Defenders Awakened. I believe that's a new system release for the PS4. Loot River is coming out. That's on Game Pass, as well as PC. I don't know if it's on PC Game Pass, though. I think it's just Game Pass. Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate, Demon Hunters. That's on PC. Trek to Yomi comes out on, was that Friday? Thursday. That's the black and white Devolver game. Citizen Sleeper, which is a great way to describe the month of May in terms of big releases. And then Fracked, which is a VR game. Previously only on PSVR, is coming out on the 5th of May. That's it. There's nothing else. It's a very slow week. I believe also on Friday, there will be the Path of Exile stream. I want to say that's at 4 p.m. Eastern for the reveal of the brand new league that is happening on the 13th of May, which we'll be jumping into. So we'll be covering both the announcement stream and the league, which we're going to probably play to great excess. We'll see. Hopefully the league's good. We'll have more news on that probably later this week in terms of what that actually looks like. That's going to do it for JPNN. We're out of here. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, feel free to hit the sub button. Let me know what you think of the content. Feel free to post in the comments what you would want changed. You can also check us out via podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff if you want to listen to the audio version. And hey, my voice made it. Kinda. Barely.